Hello, I'm Martin Warwick. We're here at the Small Cells World Summit 2014 at Excel in London's Docklands, and I'm talking with Josh Adelson, the Director of Product Marketing at Ervana. Now let me begin by asking you, what factors are driving demand for small cell technology in mobile networks right now?
Well, I think at a high level, it's just where people are using mobile services lends itself to small cells. Recently, I've seen statistics that say 80% of mobile usage is indoors. I've also done a little bit of research myself looking at different market numbers, and over 80% of operator spending is out of doors or for the macro network. And so it doesn't seem like a very sustainable mix, and I can understand why that might be, but I think in the long run, the operators have to invest for coverage and capacity where the users are.
What do you think are the key challenges, the problems that are being faced by telcos as they begin to deploy and implement small cell solutions? So
there are multiple challenges. Some of them are radio challenges where they've traditionally designed their networks around large, broadly spaced apart macro towers, and small cells are necessarily closer together, and so you have issues of borders and interference between them. There are other issues, for example, all of the signaling and handover that takes place between many small cells in a single venue, if not handled properly, can overload the macro network with all the signaling and things like that take place.
Now, do you think small cell technology is actually capable of delivering telco requirements now, as of this moment, or does the technology need more development?
I think it's pretty mature. Ervana has shipped over 1.5 million small cells, and we have cases where we have nearly 1,000 small cells within the footprint of a single macro tower. So we've gone through the experience of making sure that those small cells not only won't interfere with one another, but also provide clean handoffs to the macro signal. And so that's, to me, is mature technology. But there's always room for growth.
And how does small cells for 4G and beyond fit in with the move towards NFV, Network Functions Virtualization?
The product that we've announced at this event is called OneCell. It's an enterprise and public space small cell solution. And one of its attributes is that it actually works on more of what I would call a standard IT infrastructure. So the baseband processing is centralized. It's a cloud RAN architecture, if you're familiar with that term. And and it runs over standard Ethernet networks. So it's following that model of being a sort of more IT-friendly environment, which is what NFV is all about.
What role do you see for small cells beyond 4G and into future 5G networks?
Well, I mean, I think the basic premise of small cells is equally applicable to the different generations of mobile. You're essentially bringing the capacity and the performance closer to the user. So that's applicable in 3G, 4G, and presumably it will be just as applicable in 5G. Most people say we're still getting started with 4G, so not worried about 5G just yet.